In this problem, we'll look at an example from masonry. A mason wants to be sure that he has the right corner in a building's foundation. He marks a point 3 feet from the corner along one wall and another point 4 feet from the corner along the other wall. If the corner is a right angle, what should the distance be that's between the two marked points? He can measure that, and if it's accurate, then he would know that he has a right angle there. We're going to solve this using the 5-step problem-solving process, and our first step would be to familiarize ourselves with the situation. We don't have to draw a picture because we already have a picture drawn, and we have the sides labeled. What we notice that is we have a right triangle, and we need to remember that when we have a right triangle, we can use the Pythagorean equation a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are the legs of the right triangle and c is the hypotenuse. So to translate, we use that Pythagorean expression, or Pythagorean equation, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. One of the legs was 3 feet, so we make that 3 squared. One of the legs was 4 feet, so that would be 4 squared. And this hypotenuse was x, so this would be x squared. So we have an equation that we can solve, and we move to our third step, which is to solve the equation. To solve it, we need to first of all simplify this. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, and we have x squared. Adding 9 and 16, we get 25 equals x squared. Since we have a quadratic equation, we're going to use the principle of zero products. Subtract 25 on both sides. We have 0 equals x squared minus 25. And we factor and get 0 equals, since this is a difference of squares, 0 equals x plus 5 times x minus 5. Now we have a product that's equal to 0. Since the product is equal to 0, we know that either x plus 5 has to be equal to 0, or x minus 5 has to be equal to 0. We solve each of these separately. Here we have x equals negative 5, or over here we have x equals 5. We have two possible answers, so we move to our next step, step 4, which is to check the answer. Now we want to check this in the original problem, and we have a possibilities of x equal negative 5 or x equals 5. Now remember, we're dealing with distances, and a distance is not negative. So this cannot be an answer to our problem. So we're just left with a possible answer of 5. Now, if 5 is the hypotenuse of that triangle, then 3 squared plus 4 squared would have to equal 5 squared. Is that true? Well, 9 plus 16, does that equal 25? Yes, it does. 25 does equal 25. So the answer would be 5. And we want to state that using the right units of feet. We state that the distance between the marked points should be 5 feet.